How do you get back into bass playing after you take some time off? What's going on? This is Jason Heath, and I got an email a few weeks ago from Josh, who asked for some advice on what to do when you take a vacation, you're away from the bass for a week, a couple weeks, a month maybe. I think we've all been there, and I have been there a lot in my life, so that really got my gears turning. I found myself very frequently coming back and having no calluses, and how do I hold the bow? And so I've experimented with different methods, and today we're going to take a look at the bass at what I do when I take time off. Okay, so coming back from a break, and this is something that happens to me all the time. I was just in South Dakota visiting family, and I come back, and I used to do this fairly extensive stretching routine and that kind of thing on the bass, and I think it's really important to make sure that you're in good physical shape. I just kind of try to stay in good physical shape and then apply that to the bass. So today I've already gone running and I've done some body weight exercises and that kind of thing. So I'm feeling pretty good already. And most of what I'm going to be doing is playing fairly slowly, playing using fairly simple motions, and then taking breaks and being very aware of my body. So one thing today, for whatever weird reason, I slept on my side in a weird way, and I had my arm kind of funny, and so I'm just feeling a little bit more sore than general in my left arm. It's not playing related, I don't think. I think it was just from sleeping funny, but I'm just going to kind of pay attention to this part of my body as I'm going through and playing. And one exercise I like to do throughout when I'm coming back to the bass from a break, or in general really, is to stand with my hands on either rib right here, this upper bout, and just sort of feel my body nice and tall and just stay nice and relaxed. And everything I do on the bass, I want to be as close as possible to the way I'd be standing in regular life. So the very first thing I do is I just tune. And tuning to me is a form of warming up. I put on my tuning app and I check, and I went through and did this already before the video, so we don't have endless tuning on the video. But before I do anything, I like to play what I think of as simple motions on the bass, just some open strings. And this might only be like 30 seconds on a standard day where I'm in the rhythm of practicing. But if I'm coming back from a break, I might do this for 5 minutes. Probably not 30 minutes, probably 5, maybe a little bit more. It's all about monitoring my body. It's getting warm here in San Francisco today, so everything's a little bit stickier than usual. My rosin, so I haven't put on any rosin today. I'm going to loosen my bow hair a little bit today. Everything's just feeling a little bit gummier than normal. And I'm just really checking in with my spine, with my shoulders and back. Just making sure that I can move the bow with ease, move these open strings with ease. But we don't spend most of our life playing open strings. We usually spend our time playing closed strings. So I do like in my warm-up to throw in some closed strings. I'll do some vibrato, not on every note, but just to kind of get that motion going. And it's funny, I also have a little bit of stiffness in my back today. Again, I think from sleeping funny. So I'm just monitoring that. I have done a little bit of stretching this morning just to kind of look at that. And again, I find that just running and overall health, strength training, and that kind of thing sort of helps everything about bass. So I used to have all this very specific stuff I would do on the bass before I would play every time. And these days I just try to kind of take care of that in the normal course of the day. So, but I will stop and check in, and yeah, I'm feeling that tightness right there. So I think what I'm going to do is actually put the bass down and just take my arms. I'm just going to drop toward the floor, and I'm just going to check in. Oh, yeah, I'm glad I'm doing this. Next up, we get into scales, and I am a big fan of Hal Robinson's Strokin. I've done an entire video about that. I'll link up to that up here. A wonderful scale book. It's taking an element of the Rabath technique, and again, I'll do this after a long break, but I will make the challenge level not very great. So normally, if I'm in a groove, like I have E major up here right now, that's the key I'm on right now, I would maybe be slurring 2 notes, slurring 3 notes, that kind of thing. Coming back from a break, I'm just gonna play 1 note per bow, and I'm not going to probably vibrate to start. I'm just gonna think about tone. I might go back. That was a little bit of a funky note change. And if I want to stay on a note, play a few extra open strings. And it might seem a little bit strange to do this after break. Like, why not start with G major scales or 1 octave scales or that sort of thing? But again, I have discovered for myself that it's helpful to pick up where I left off, even if the difficulty level, the challenge level, it's probably a better word, is not as great. So again, this is what I was doing before I went on break. This is what I'm going to do now that I'm coming back from break. If I hadn't been on break, I might have even started doing like 3 per bow. This weird thing when I come back from a break where a lot of the time the first day on the bass feels awesome because it's like, oh yeah, I'm making music again, and the second day feels terrible. I don't know if you've ever had that experience. Sometimes it just feels terrible right off the gate. Usually doesn't feel great when you're coming back, but I know that after I play for a couple days it's going to feel better, and pretty much after a week of consistently practicing, I feel like I'm back. Maybe not to recital shape or whatever if I had a big performance coming up, but I feel like myself on the bass. So it just takes some time, and I am aiming for maybe 20 to 30 minutes the first day, and really what I'm doing is listening to my body. I have found, however, that I can get over-enthusiastic when I come back from a break and go 45 minutes, and at this point in my life, then the next day I feel like, oh, things feel a little bit weird. I'm just trying to avoid injury. So I would rather put in less time and ramp it up slightly each day. I found that that's the best. And also, it's not like this albatross. It's not like this giant thing that I have to tackle. I'm just putting 20 minutes on the bass, not a big deal. And these simple motions and that kind of thing. So I would then continue going, I do continue going up Boardwalk, and so I'm here. And when I feel emotion that I want to re-investigate, I just repeat. Check an open string for intonation. Momentum in my practicing, so I'm not getting stuck on any one thing, because it's all gonna feel kind of like not awesome. See, gotta remember where that F sharp is. And you might notice I'm playing, even though I'm repeating notes, I'm playing things rhythmically. And I find that's helpful to get back into things, or just in general. I'm not just sort of holding notes for random durations. I'm trying to have a flow to what I'm doing. And then if I want to investigate something, repeat it or stay on the same note. But I found that playing in rhythm, even if you're practicing slow stuff like that, I find that really helpful for coordinating body motions. And that's a great way for me to get back into the bass. And that might be time for a break. Calluses disappear for me if I'm away from the bass for a couple of weeks, and they just take some time to come back. I don't do anything specific except what I'm talking about here, and I find that after a week the fingertips are feeling okay, and after a couple of weeks the calluses are largely back. My sort of overall technique philosophy, and I do start with some sort of technique routine, even if it's just for a few minutes, is get the bow going, get the bow and the left hand going in terms of scales, something linear like that, some arpeggios, then a little bit of right hand bow focus practice and a little bit of left hand. And then I would round out day one with some sort of etude. I indicate the day that I last did that, so I've been doing these for the last few years here, and I would just play through so that I'm now combining everything in some sort of musical-ish expression. And this would be a good opportunity, even though it might seem weird to record yourself day one. I would probably record at least a little bit of something. And I find that can actually be a morale booster in some ways coming back, because it probably feels not awesome that first day, but you might be surprised how you probably sound better than you think you sound. And again, the most important thing to me is just paying attention to my body, reading the signals, and quitting while I'm ahead, not doing anything overly taxing, overly stressful. A lot of it is just really building the habit again of pulling the bass out and getting started. And that's, again, why I love planning out like this, using an app or using whatever you want so that you're not just kind of flailing about, playing open strings, feeling unmotivated or unsure of what to do next. That's a look at how I get back into the bass. I would love to hear what you do. I know everybody's got a different method and I've experimented a lot. Leave a comment, let me know what you found that works, what doesn't. If you enjoyed this video, you want to see more like this, let me know as well. Check out this next video we've got linked up here for more on the topic. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.